Daniel, are you now Poch in?
No, Jason. I'm still Poch out. But I'm Cole Palmer in, baby. Oh, let me compose myself. What's up, guys and gals? I hope y'all are having a fantastic Monday. We are the Red, White, and the Blues podcast. And we're here. We are elated, and we are having fun. We are celebrating. Big win for Chelsea today. But I'm Daniel. He is Jason over that way. How you doing tonight, man? He is my main brochacho nacho. I will not forget that for the people out there.
Yeah, and Daniel, I don't have like a. He's just bro taco. You need like a bro taco something. I'm bro nacho. Main bro chacho nacho. You're just bro taco.
It's whatever.
It is what it is.
It is.
But I digress.
Yes.
Because today is a day of celebration.
Celebration day.
If you've been listening to the podcast at all, though, you know how I can turn this into a negative spin.
I'm sure there will be at some point.
But I won't do that. I'm not going to do that. Today's a good day.
Negative talk. We will have a negative point at some point in this podcast. It will happen. It always does. I already know where this one's going to go because we talked about it before the show. So there will be.
It helps that I didn't watch the match, though.
It does. I watched the match, and I don't know. Hey, the last two Monday matches have been two of the most exciting matches of the Chelsea season. I don't know. The United match was pretty fun. Or not United, but the Man City 4-4 draw was a really fun match.
Well, we did look back through, and the Tottenham match was also
there's
Monday
another
match
great
as
Monday
well.
match, yeah.
So Monday nights are pretty good for the Chelsea.
They up the Chels on the Mondays. We're the, as I dubbed us in the pre-show, the Monday Merchants. Yes, that's what we are now. Hashtag that, guys. Monday Merchants out there.
Hey, we're like 4 for 4 or 5 for 5 on Mondays this season, and it'll stay that way because there's not another Monday match.
That's right. Hey, Monday matches are usually, I know they're not good for you. They're usually okay for me. Usually works quiet on a Monday afternoon, especially when my boss is out of town, so I don't have to, she's not here, so I don't have to worry about her calling me unexpectedly or anything.
Yeah.
So, cool, whatever. Hopefully she doesn't see this podcast sometime. Whatever.
Just, you're not allowed to talk about this at work.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to talk about this at work. Yeah, I work with a bunch of women anyway, and none of them like football, so not to say that women can't like football. I just live in America, and the percentage chance of finding a woman that actually watches football on a regular basis is slim to none.
Yeah.
Even the ones that play football don't even watch football, so, whatever. Anyway, we got a quick digressing. So, undigress. Let's get back into this match. Big 6-0 win today. Probably let's just get this out the way before we start anything else, because this needs to be the most important thing that we talk about tonight. By God, Jason, we kept a clean sheet. It's a miracle.
Dude, I was listening to the Chelsea commentary with Jason Cundy and somebody else, and all he wanted at 5-0 is a clean sheet. This is like in the 70th minute.
Yeah,
and I was
that's
like,
all I wanted.
That's it. He said, I will take 5-0 to 7-1 any day.
Yes.
And I got to agree. With this team in particular, normally it'll be okay, and we'll just win, and a concession goal doesn't bother me as much. But my God, did we check all the boxes today?
We did check all those boxes, and we checked some of them 4 times. That would be Cole Palmer's goal total for the match.
Hey!
But anyway, But yeah, back to the clean sheet. Not to get ahead of ourselves. The clean sheet. I tweeted out before the match that, please just keep a clean sheet today, Chelsea. Like, for the love of God, just keep a clean sheet. And they did. And I'm with you. It was like it was like halftime. We could have not scored again, and I would have been completely happy with a clean sheet. Just that, whatever.
It didn't help we were up by 4 at half. That's pretty good first half.
It definitely helped that we were up by 4 at half. And it probably actually would have been a lot more positive match if we hadn't scored any more goals in the second half, except for Gilchrist. He can have his at the end of the match.
Oh, dude. That was so fun.
That
so
was.
Good. We'll
that
talk
was,
about it.
That was that's the second highlight of the match. But the first, I mean, and let's be honest, Everton did have chances. They had several.
Oh, yeah.
Petrovic made a really good save at the end of the match. They had several crosses that could have been goals. One that should have definitely been a goal early on in the match. But other than that, our defense was pretty solid. And shockingly, there was no decency in the defense today, Jason.
I mean, coincidence?
Maybe not.
If you're the type of person that believes in coincidences?
Yeah. I mean,
maybe.
I don't know.
Kind of nice that DCC wasn't back there to F this up. I mean, I hope he's fine.
Yeah. I think he's going to be back next match, or by the Arsenal match. I don't know if he'll be back for City this weekend, but I know. Look, Chalobah he looked good back there. Silva looked good back there. And that was the difference, I guess, this match. It wasn't necessarily that. Like, there wasn't as many blunders, I guess. Our marking on corners was a lot better this match. They had several corners. We defended those. Probably the best we defended corners in a good stretch of the season. I don't know. I mean, a couple of their chances they had were just good plays. So, I mean, sometimes it happens. Yeah. Sometimes it, one of their crosses, it was just a screamer across the box, and we just got lucky nobody was there to put it in. But, I don't know. But
if their goal, like the Bento, is it Beto? What's his name?
Which one? At the end of the match?
No, his header that got called offside.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember. I think it was Beto.
Like he's a mile offside.
Yeah, he was a mile offside.
But that was a really well worked goal by them. He was just offside.
But
that's a testament to our line.
There you go. Bingo.
Like, yep. I was so impressed with that line when they showed the offside, and you could just see it straight as an arrow, man. Like, they were just all across. They were ready for something like that to happen. And that is a sense of maturity. Even in the match where we probably got to blatantly see some of the most immature stuff happen. Spoiler alert. I do think this team overall is maturing.
Yeah, well, I think that's our most, to be honest, that's probably our most experienced back line that you can put in there. Because you have three guys that have really years of Premier League experience. One guy has a lifetime of football under his belt in Thiago Silva. Chalobah's played for the club forever. Cucurella's been in the Premier League for a while. And Gusto's just made the Premier League his bitch this year.
He just slotted right in, yeah.
Yeah, he just slotted right in. So, that's probably, if I'm Poch, barring injury, that's the back line I go with for the rest of the season.
The issue, I think Silva being in there for Everton is good.
Yeah.
But could he handle the Cities or the Arsenals he could handle Tottenham.
He can handle Tottenham. Colwell will be back soon.
So
you could slot him in there. And I mean, that was the thing. I never understood the decency by why we bought another right center back when we had Chalobah, and decency is literally Chalobah. Maybe he does play with a little more passion, a little more emotion, but they both make the same exact mistakes. Neither one of them is world class. They're just good, average center backs. So
you could probably argue that DCC was an experienced buy since he is a little older.
True.
But
he didn't have. But I mean, I don't know. He didn't
coming into the Premier League. He hasn't been that great.
Right. Exactly. And Chalobah did already have that experience. So I don't know. It's an interesting debate. For sure. Second highlight of the match, besides the clean sheet, that's number one. Number two is our academy boy, Alfie Gilchrist, with his first Chelsea goal, and it wasn't a shit goal. It was an amazing goal by Gilchrist. Just absolute banger. Drilled the ball right into the turf, just like you're supposed to do, right into the goal.
Waited for it, set himself up, hit it clean, hit it down. Yep. Yeah, awesome.
I did not realize it was Gilchrist until he started running to the corner and slid, and then did the whole little trip thing with his knees. But the best part of that celebration was Casadilla sliding in behind him and just straight sliding right over the corner flag and then tripping over it and falling face first.
Yeah.
Trying to get over there to celebrate with them. But it was like, I can't imagine, like, he was quoted after the game talking about, like, just to show you, like, to my point about how much I love Chelsea, like, if I wasn't playing for this club, I would be in the stands cheering for this club.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so this goal meant so much more to him than, like, say, Cole Palmer's first goal at Chelsea. Like,
exactly.
This is the kid that eats and breathes and lives Chelsea football and has come up through our academy and gets his first goal. And it was just great to see. It was just a great moment. And it was just sort of like the icing on the cake for the match.
Yeah. His celebration was amazing. I thought he was going to run out of the stadium. He, like, barely stopped to do anything.
Yeah.
Everybody celebrated with him. I mean, yeah, it was awesome. It was a great team moment to, like, kind of cap off the game.
For sure.
How do you not be happy for him? That was great. I loved every second of that. Definitely a major highlight of the game for sure.
Yes, for sure. I mean, if it had been since January since we kept a clean sheet, that easily would have been the top highlight of the match. But by gosh, it's been since freaking January.
Yeah.
Clean sheet.
For real.
So I felt like that needed to go first. Alfie, we'll just name it 1A, 1B. How about that?
Sure.
So we'll go with that. Other highlights in the match. This might not be a top highlight, Jason. This will probably be like bottom rung, like borderline in the toilet, in the garbage highlight. Ben Chilwell played left wing today in a substitutionary appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben Chilwell, Cucurella, both on the left.
How do you get a worse left side than that?
What do you do?
I mean,
what are you going to do?
We're playing two left backs on the left side, and we're not playing five at the back, and one's a wing back. One's a legit left winger.
Dude, how does an assist count? Like, Chilwell doesn't get an assist for that goal, does he? Because it was saved?
I don't know.
He took a shot.
Because somebody said earlier when I was reading through Twitter after Palmer scored the header that Nico would get an assist for that. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know.
It depends on how many assists Nico has. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, I was going to look at that thing too.
They've only given Nico one assist, so it would have to be for that first goal.
Yeah, so he didn't. So this, I didn't think it was an assist. Somebody said that on X, and it was from a prominent account. And I'm like, I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I don't think Chilwell got an assist for that.
He shouldn't have. I mean, he did
because it's usually the player that touches the ball right before someone scores. So, like, theoretically, you could pass the ball to someone in the box, and they could run all the way down and score, and they might still count that as an assist.
They would. I would think so. I mean, you could just give the assist to Pickford. I mean,
dude,
I don't know if there is an uglier person in the Premier League than Jordan Pickford. That dude is got the ugliest face, and then he wears like these short shorts that are like I'm pretty sure like 2 sizes too small for him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. That dude is just ugly and weird looking. I don't know. I'm not a big Jordan Pickford fan. I can't imagine English people are either. So I feel like they're on our side in this one too. So,
I mean, it's only fitting that Pickford had another mistake that led to an insane goal. Or a goal in general.
An insane goal.
It just happened to be a great goal.
Yeah.
I keep waiting for this other highlight to come in.
Is this a dreadful highlight or a
No, it's good. The fact that
this is number 4.
Oh, okay.
On the list. Yeah. 4 because he scored 4. I don't really know what number 3 was. We're just skipping 3. So
that sounds good.
We're going to go to 4 now. So highlight number 4, Cole Palmer scores 4 goals.
Yeah. Dude, they were all good goals.
And it wasn't a bad
penalty.
Yeah, penalty's a penalty. The other three, there wasn't a bad one. Like any one of those, minus the header, probably could be considered goal of the year. But the header was amazing just because of where he ran from.
Oh man,
to get the header. That's what makes that one so amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, first one was. I mean, I didn't think, like, that's the thing. It's like the first goal went in, and you're like, there's no way you think it's better than this.
Right.
And so, it was a great little 1-2 with Nico. And Nico, passed it back to him before he was mad at Palmer during the match. And Palmer just finessed it with the left foot right in the bottom corner of the net.
God, man. I mean, that was a great setup because Palmer gets the ball, nutmegs that dude.
Yeah.
Stays with it. The guy gets mad and turns around and gets a foot on it, and Palmer stays with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then back heels it to Nico, who has to stretch to then kick it to Palmer into his path. And then Palmer at the very top of the box slots it in to the left corner, lower left corner. This is where I thought the maturity of the team comes into play, right? Because Nico is... He's Nico. We talked about this during the game. Like, we were worried that he might get a yellow because then he's going to be out for the Arsenal match. And we've talked about how we think Nico is coming into his own, but he does do stupid things like kick the ball away or mouth off to the ref that have now amassed him 9 yellow cards.
I mean, he doesn't, like, none of those are like reckless tackles. Yeah. They're all just mouthing off at the freaking ref.
They're just undisciplined. To see Nico, like, pass it back as a striker. Like the thing about Nico is he has the qualities of a striker that I think we love in a striker. It's why we love Costa. It's why we love Drogba. There's, like, this arrogant, like, pushing themselves forward to try to be the best on the field. Yeah. And, like, you want that in a striker. I think Nico could bulk up a little bit because he's still just a little.
He is little.
He's just kind of, like, hasn't, like, he just needs a little more muscle on him. But other than that, like, I think Nico has all the qualities of a striker that we like, and it is nice because he's sitting on 10 goals right now. Yep. And those are 10 non-penalty goals, even though he tried his damnedest to get a penalty today. Like, but like, seeing him set Palmer up for the assist.
Yeah.
Knowing Nico and knowing, like, just the drive he has to want the ball always and want to be the scorer. And you want your strikers to be a scorer. Those are the moments in the game where I was like, this is a pretty mature team. Like, or like, you can see them becoming mature. Like, you can see them learning. Like, part of the issue with this season is we're watching this team in real time F up to learn better. Whereas, and you don't have the other guys to cover them because they're all kids, which becomes evident way later in the match. But yeah, I mean, that's a classy goal all around. So I thoroughly enjoyed that goal. Like, it
was
one of the better goals of the season.
It was. Because it was one of those things, like, because it starts with a nutmeg, and then it's a 1-2, which we don't see very often from this team, and it's always a joy. Every time I see a 1-2 from these players, I just get really excited. Like, oh my gosh, they just did a 1-2. And then, honestly, did not think the ball went in the net. I thought he missed it, or Pickford saved it, or something, and then, like, it's just in the back of the net. And I honestly don't know how Pickford missed that, but, I mean, Palmer just swerved it in there. It was a great shot. But yeah, first goal,
great goal.
Great. Second goal was I do want to say this about Nico. I think because earlier in the game, I think it was before we ever scored that goal. He had a point in time where he sort of dribbled the ball down the right side, got by a couple people, and then cut across the pitch, and had an opportunity to pass the ball. I think to Palmer or Mudryk, I can't remember who it was. But he didn't. And I think he has those tendencies still to hold on to the ball a little too long. Like, it's very Sterling-esque. Like, I feel like Sterling's teaching him bad habits is what I'm going to attribute it to.
Yeah.
But he's just got to learn when to release the ball, when to give it up a little bit sooner. But other than that, Nico has definitely grown on me this year, and he's definitely growing up as a player. Obviously, still has some things to work on. I think the Chelsea fan base is a little sour on him right now. We'll get into that later. But
I just don't agree with that. But yeah, okay.
I don't know. We'll get into it later. But second Palmer goal was a beautiful header where he made about a 13-yard run in 15-yard run into the box, and just like, that was the crazy thing. Is I'm sitting there watching this live, and I see Nico, and like he just misses it, and I'm like, oh, good, okay, good shot, Nico. It got saved, and then like just out of nowhere, Cole Palmer comes flying into the screen, and just heads the ball on the goal, and I'm like,
to be fair, Pickford saved it.
He did.
It wasn't like I don't think it was a great shot or anything, but like Pickford hit that. Oh, Pickford had wanted Palmer to score. Pickford is a Palmer fan.
He is. He is. Like,
he put that ball on a tee, but yeah, Palmer made a great run and then just
Pickford had
it
multiple assists to Cole Palmer tonight. We realized that, right? Do we realize that he had like 2 assists to Cole Palmer tonight, and then he had another one to Gilchrist, and an assist to Gilchrist. So Pickford assisted on 3 of our goals.
My God.
3 of our 6 goals, Pickford assisted on.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It is, yes, but that one, it wasn't like you said, it wasn't a spectacular goal, but it was just sort of the fact of where, like I said, he came running from to get there, and then just jump between the 2 defenders and head the ball. It reminded me very much of Chelsea's defense. Like, I could see that goal happening to our defense.
Yeah,
and like
exactly.
to see it happen to somebody else was a nice turn of events.
Yes. The whole game was like that.
Yeah. For real.
Everton had lots of chances in front of goal. Like when I was watching the highlights, people keep slagging off Everton. I think if Everton like get 1 or 2 of those goals,
it's a different match.
This is a whole different conversation, especially within the match when those chances for them happened. Like this is definitely like you're right though. Like completely agree that we are on the good side of this.
Yeah.
And we haven't been for most of the season.
It's nice, isn't it? It's nice.
I mean, it's pretty nice to be able to say that, like, outside of Man City, we have one of the longest, like, non-losing streaks in the Premier League right now. Like, like we're second to City at the moment. Or we're tied with them or something.
Yep. And City,
so, like, it's wild. It's wild to be able to say this. Yeah.
Yeah. Because Arsenal tend to bottle things against actually good teams, and Tottenham got thumped, and United aren't consistent, and Liverpool lost too. Everybody lost.
Oh my God! And City are going to freaking win again, man.
We need to talk about that on another episode because I don't understand where this is coming from. That they've wrapped up, like everybody's like, has City wrapped up the league? I'm like, dumbasses! They're only up 2 points, and they don't have a game in hand.
But there's something about when City's at the top of the league, there's an inevitability that is, I think, what people feel. I'm not saying that it's right, and I don't think that they have it wrapped up. There just is like City are kind of the team that if they're at the top, you would see them going through versus the Pools and versus the Arsenals because Pool and Arsenal tend to be a little more bottle jobby than City.
Yeah,
and I think historically, that's the inevitability factor of it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I think this year's different because City has not been City this year, is how I'd put it. They have not been, they've been very leaky. Like, you can score on City. Like, we're not a great goal-scoring team. We only have a +9 goal differential, and that's thanks to 6 goals today in a match. So we really are, just say, +3, +4 goal. Like, we're a pretty even-killed team. Like, we're going to concede what we give up. And we scored 4 on City. Like, we, Chelsea, scored 4 on Manchester City. So it's just one of those things. Like they're a leaky team. They're not good defense. They're not defensively as sound as what they have been in the past. De Bruyne's missed a good chunk of the year. Him being back has definitely boosted them. Haaland has not scored like he scored last year. So I just think they're more vulnerable this year. And to hear these people, like, I don't even know why you're entertaining that question. Like, at this point, that's my thing. It's like there's 6 games left in the season. why are you entertaining this question now?
Yeah.
Like,
it'll be different. At 3 games, it could be different. But right now,
3 games, 2
everything's
games.
up in the air. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's 6 matches left in this season. Arsenal and Liverpool are only down 2 points, right? Is it 73 and they both have 71?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's literally them 2 winning one weekend and City drawing. And they're all 3 tied again.
This is going to be a low point year for...
Yeah, it is.
For the
because that's the thing with the Premier. I know we talked about this on our. We're digressing way off.
We're way off.
Now. We're way off.
We still got to talk about Palmer's other 2 goals.
I know we do. But I know we talked about it on our Premier League preview episode. We talked about how this season it was going to probably be like the gap was closing between the teams.
I think I predicted like a really high point total for whoever was going to win, and you were more reasonable and made this point earlier in the season.
Yeah. I just think the disparity between the teams is closing down.
Yeah.
Like, it is shrinking tremendously because of coaching, because of the way players develop. I mean, there's just multiple factors in it. But, yeah, I don't know. It just seems like it is going to be... I think I predicted in the 80s. Like 84,
I think you
maybe.
did, yeah.
I'll have to go back and look. It might not even make it there. We might not even make it. Like, I mean, I guess there's 6 matches left. So if City wins 6, that's what, 12 more points. So is that
18 more points?
So 18 more points. So it'd be at 89.
91.
91. Oh, see, I can't do math, guys. If y'all don't know.
If they're at 73, it'd be 91, I think.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was seeing they're 71. My bad.
Yeah.
So. But I don't think they're going to win 6. I just don't.
Yeah.
Now, historically speaking, like you were just saying, City do tend to go on runs at the end of the year. But they're still in the FA Cup. They're still in the Champions League.
For now,
until Saturday. And they'll officially be out on Saturday.
Yes.
But they're still in the FA Cup. And they're still in the Champions League.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just going to be, it is going to be exciting. Especially as a neutral, because I don't have a dog in fight because Chelsea suck. Now it's just get to Europe, guys. And this is what I know happens. Every time that we start thinking, hey, we can go to Europe, Jason, they just crush our dreams. It's happened like multiple times this year.
We lose or draw. Yeah.
I'm just going to shut up about Europe. Whatever happens, may the football gods be forever in our favor, hopefully this year.
Even after this game, and we still got a little bit to talk about in this game, but like even after this game, my expectations are still tempered. Like I'm glad that we were able to do this against the 16th ranked team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I know Everton are like 8 points down. Where does that put Everton? Like,
if they had their points, like if they didn't get deducted their points. At one point they were above us. They're not. I know they're not now.
They've been deducted 8, so they would be on 35. I mean, so they would still only be the 14th place team.
Yeah, they're still not good. They still suck.
Yeah, I mean, that's still like the bottom 7.
Yeah, but
that's the bottom. Anyway, that's the bottom 7 team. But like, I'm glad that we were able to do this against a bottom tier team.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens. We have City and we have Arsenal. And I know one's Prem and one's not coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, let's just... We've got a long way to go for Chelsea. Like, and I like, even though... Like, we still haven't talked about Palmer's 3rd goal.
Or his 4th goal.
Pickford's an idiot.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he was doing. And Palmer saw Pickford try to thread a pass...
Yeah.
And Palmer's not far from halfway. And he gets the ball in, like, I don't know how he thought of it. Like, just so fast. He lobbed that ball. Like, that was the highest chip I've ever seen.
I mean, it barely went under the bar, too.
Yeah. He gave too much respect to Pickford there.
Yeah.
Pickford can't jump that high.
No.
But, I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
But even though, like, which I think we have one of the best players in the Premier League this season in Cole Palmer.
Yes.
who has played like 27 games now. Like, even though he is amazing, like, we've seen games where if it's not going perfectly well for Palmer, he can't take the game on his back like he did this time. The nice thing is he had some good performances around him. Like, I would say, like, based on what I've heard and based on the highlights that I've been able to watch, Mudryk was largely absent for portions of this game.
Yep, I would agree with that.
Everyone
Although
else
some
seemed
people
to like step up.
Some people on Twitter said Mudryk had a great game, and people were stupid if they didn't think Mudryk had a good game, and that was coming from a prominent Chelsea person.
Okay,
so I'm just saying, apparently we're
yeah.
stupid, but no, Mudryk did not have a good game. He lost the ball in the final third multiple times. He passed the ball to the other team several times. He is so fast he overran the ball multiple times. He had a shot on goal after Nico set him up for one and literally kicked it straight at Pickford.
I saw that.
No, he did not have a great game. It was a below average game, I would say. I don't know what Fought Mob gave him on the rating scale. I can't imagine it's anything above a 6.
Yeah, and I already think, like you said, below average. I already think Mudryk's average is kind of lower.
He had a 7-1 with the yellow card.
Chalobah only had in the 6s. He's one of the only ones in the 6s. Yeah. So.
Madueke was in the 6s.
They've been editing some of these things. I totally believe they have, because I don't think Chalobah was at a 6.9 earlier on Fought Mob.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know how Mudryk got a 7.1 with a yellow card. That's crazy.
I think they're editing some of this.
Sure they are.
But yeah, like, other than him, I think everybody else had a pretty decent game. At least
Casado had a very good game. Gallagher had a good game, which speaks to the pivot now. Enzo didn't play. Our midfield seemed to boss. People on Twitter are telling me not to overreact, but I'm going to overreact and be like, I mean, maybe.
Coincidence?
Coincidence? Again?
Another?
I don't know, man.
Palmer at the 10, man.
It's where he needs to be. Like, because you can get
working.
More people. It is, because, I mean, you can get, because I like it because you get Madueke on the pitch and he provides something different than other players on your team, taking people on one-on-one. If he would just stop trying to take penalties. You're not the penalty guy. Stop it, Madueke. But he provides that one-on-one that a lot of other people don't. He sets his teammates up a lot. They're just not very good at finishing. He's very good at driving to the byline, cutting the ball back across goal. His stuff doesn't always show up in the stats. His is one of those eye tests. We don't really. I mean, the only thing is we don't really have a left winger either, because Sterling is. I don't even know where Sterling is. I'm just glad I haven't seen him on the pitch. I don't know if he's sick, hurt, whatever. Hasn't played in hasn't started, I guess, in the last 3 matches. Been amazing. I
haven't missed him at all.
Not one bit. Mudryk's just not consistent enough to start on that left wing, I feel like, though. So, and Sterling's too much of a Sterling to start on the left wing. So I don't know. But I'm with you. Palmer in the midfield. Maybe you move Jackson back out there to the left wing. I don't know who you put a striker then. Then that basically, I guess you could bring in. Shout out David Washington for making a cameo in the match today. And after Poch praised him in the January transfer window and said, "Don't forget about this kid," and that is the first minutes that he has gotten since the January transfer window.
Properly forgets about him.
Great job, Poch.
Hey, Cassidy is getting into the game earlier and earlier.
Yeah.
Since we brought him back from a successful loan spell. Because we needed help in the middle, and then proceeded not to play him.
Yeah, Poch is very good at that.
Poch is an idiot.
Yeah. But, all right, so, Jason, if you had to, excluding the penalty, we'll talk about the penalty in a second, but you but which one of Palmer's goals was your favorite today?
Oh, man, I do love a cheeky little chip from almost halfway. But I'm going to say that first one, man. I think it's the first one for me. Yeah. That's a great goal. That's just well worked all around. It's team goal. Like it's just nice. Like I'm not always a fan of like risky flare type things, but when Palmer's on the ball, man, like you just
He's going to do whatever he wants to do.
He can just do things that like the other players can't always do.
Yep.
And he looks composed. He looks competent. He looks like he knows what the basics are. Like he looks like he knew exactly what he was doing with that nutmeg. He knew exactly what he was doing with that back heel flick. Like he knows exactly what he's doing. A commentator said he's usually 2 steps ahead. Like when the ball comes at his feet, he's thinking ahead. And I think a lot of times we can see that with the other players when they don't do that. And when Palmer gets the ball, you can see the wheels turning with what he's going to do with it. And I'm not saying it always works out for him, but for the most part, we usually are pretty confident it can work out for him. So I'm gonna say that goal, man. It was well worked. It was a good first goal of the match, and I think it set the standard for the match. And I'm gonna go with that one.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I enjoyed cheeky chip, but the first goal was the tone setter for the match. It was a team goal, and it had a nutmeg involved in it. So that's got to count for more points than Pickford passing you the ball and you chipping them for 40 yards out.
Yeah,
but
gosh, good chip though.
It was such a good chip. It was like, literally like a perfect chip because it literally dipped right under the crossbar. So it was.
And it didn't even look like he should have been able to do that with the way it came to him. Like with that, like with him, like the way that he caught it and then was just able to do that. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird physics thing that he had going on. He defies physics.
Look, he bended it like Beckham, Jason. That's what he did.
I will say the penalty. I don't know if you want to talk about this now, but the fourth goal of Palmer, which just happened to be a penalty.
Which just happened to be a penalty.
Is going to live in infamy for the rest of the season.
Yes, it is.
Or at least the rest of this cycle.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's talk about the negativity. Let's just get it all out in the open, Jason.
Here's what I love about the penalty, right? Like, because I think Palmer got some flack for his last hat trick, which this is 2 hat tricks in a row at the bridge for Palmer at the moment.
Yep.
He got some flack for that hat trick because he had penalties involved, right? So what's he do this game? He comes out and he scores a perfect hat trick.
Yep.
And then scores the penalty.
And
the significant thing about the penalty is that puts him level with Erling Haaland.
Yep.
The Erling Haaland. It puts him level with the main guy, the main goal scorer in the league and Manchester City.
Yep.
At 20 goals.
Puts him level on points with Ollie Watkins too, with 29. Yeah. So they're both tied at 29 points for the year.
Yeah. So Palmer's sitting on 29 goals and assists right now. Like that is like we have one of the world-class players in the world right now on this Chelsea team. Like if this isn't the biggest coup of the season,
and we're ninth.
Yes. Like that is wild, man. Like we shouldn't even be talking about it in this context. And kudos to Nico, who scores the 4th goal right before the half. Nico's now on 10 goals.
He's on 10.
Like, we have 2 goal scorers in double figures.
I know. And, crazy stat, Palmer has now scored more goals than Kai Havertz did in his entire Chelsea career.
That makes sense. Kai Havertz at least will always have that Champions League goal.
Hey, that's about the only thing he's got at Chelsea, man. That is about the only thing he's got. But so the penalty, the drama around the penalty. So I think I read on X, don't know how accurate this is like the 4th time this has happened this year. I can remember 3. I don't remember the 4th. Was it
that this has happened?
Yeah, that we fought over penalty kicks. The Sterling incident, Matty Wake's happened twice now. So I don't know. I don't remember what the 4th one is. Did something happen with Sterling again? And that time, Palmer, I don't remember. I think something happened with Sterling earlier, and Palmer took the ball from him.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Enzo took the ball from Sterling. That's what it was.
Right.
Enzo took the ball from Sterling, and then Sterling was a bitch, and then took the penalty, missed the penalty. And just everybody realizes, if Palmer misses out on the golden boot by 1 goal, we riot and blame Raheem Sterling.
Right.
Because it's his fault for taking that penalty kick from Palmer. Anyway, so to set the scene for everybody, Palmer, I'm assuming, I guess we can agree that the penalty was called for the Palmer trip and not the Madueke trip.
That would make more sense.
It would. I would.
The only thing that gives me pause there is that Madueke, the way he wanted this penalty to go down, I don't want to mess up the setup, but it looked like, based on actions that he took, it looked like he thought it was his to have.
And he does tend to think that way, because that's the way he thought earlier whenever they had to just take the ball from him, because he wins the penalty. He thinks he should take the penalty, even though that's not the way it works. But Palmer and Madueke both go down the box. I think the ref called the penalty on Palmer for the foul on Palmer and not Madueke. I don't really think that Madueke. It was more of just a coming together. Everton guy got the ball, it seemed like. So, but Gusto, Mr. Gentleman Gusto, picks the ball up, and all of a sudden is surrounded by Nico and Madueke, and they're arguing over the damn ball.
Yeah.
Okay. Number one, neither one of you are the penalty. And the only thing I can think in my head is that maybe Madueke saw Palmer down, and so he wanted to be the first to the ball, But I'm just like, this is like U10 soccer, and somebody gets fouled, and all the little kids are like looking at the coach. Oh, coach, let me take the penalty. Coach, let me take it. I want to do it. I want to do it. You know, and everybody's arguing over who's going to take the penalty, and instead of the coach just being like, "You do it." So, and then they argue, Madueke, and then Silva comes over and talks to him. It looks like it's sort of sorted out. Nico sort of, walks off in frustration or whatever. And then Madueke comes up there and stands at the penalty spot. And Palmer comes up there and is like, give me the damn ball because I'm Cole Palmer. And 7 for 7 at that point in time on penalties?
Gallagher escorts him over.
Yeah. And then Gallagher just straight rips the ball from Madueke's hands and gives it to Palmer. So at this moment in time, and then out of nowhere, Nico just runs up and just I'm so lost at why Nico runs up at this point in time, and like nobody will get this reference except for Jason. He tries to spondo the ball out of Cole Palmer's hands. I have no clue, no rhyme, no reason for why Nico comes up there and tries to do that. And then once Gallagher breaks up the kerfuffle and they escorts everybody away, Nico was just sitting there like bitching about it, and I don't understand it. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why he thought he should get to take the penalty in the first place.
Right.
I don't understand why he was even over there to begin with, and why he was crying about it. And out of all of this, the only player that comes out looking good is Conor Gallagher. I mean, well, Palmer's just irrelevant, but Conor Gallagher comes out looking amazing in the situation because he acted like a captain. And I remember we had this conversation on this podcast when this happened last time with the Sterling incident, that we said Gallagher as the captain, whoever the captain is on the pitch, has to go over there and sort the matter out. And Gallagher learned from it. And he came up and he settled the debate and gave the ball to Palmer, and Palmer slotted it home.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And there was some shoving. Palmer shoved Nico away.
He did shove Nico.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why Nico was over there to begin with. That's my thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Why was he there? I don't get it.
Yeah, and I listened to the ESPN crew, and they were talking about how like how when you think you're 4-0 up, that you're cruising.
Yeah.
And that was probably the only thing I can think of is Madueke and Nico were like, well, Palmer's already got 3 share the wealth sort of thing.
I agree with that.
And but that mentality is bad anyway. And I agree with you. Gallagher looks good in this situation, like really, really good, and obviously learned from the past thing. The only thing I can think of there, why Gallagher, I don't know, maybe he's intimidated because Sterling is technically a senior player, even though Sterling's not intimidating at all. But I don't know what goes on in the
his ass
dressing room.
Intimidating.
Yeah. But like, yeah, I don't really think, like, here's the thing. Everybody's going to make a big deal of this situation. I just don't think it's that big of a deal, especially with what I'll let you talk about post-match at the end. I like the biggest deal of the situation is that the players thought they could do this in the first place, and that's lack of leadership from Poch.
From Poch,
exactly. Like when we're expecting a 23-year-old kid to break up a little bit of a kerfuffle against other 20-year-old kids, like we're expecting a lot. Like, and I'm not saying that these players aren't capable of maturity, because I just said earlier in the podcast that I think this team is becoming a more mature team, and we're getting to witness that real time in a way that you don't ever get to witness a team do this, because you usually have a mixture of senior players and younger players.
Yeah, that's how you normally build a football squad, Jason.
Yeah,
but
I know, right? Like, it's crazy. But we're witnessing a lot of younger players become senior players together.
Yeah.
And it's weird to watch, and it's weird to witness. And then you're watching a coach that is leaving these types of decisions up to them on the field. Like, and everybody's talking about, Madueke should have taken that for harmony in the locker room and all this stuff. And it's like, well, Poch is creating the environment to not have harmony in the locker room. Like, Poch has created this environment. The players haven't. The players are reacting to the environment that's created for them. Like I don't blame them for wanting that penalty. like I just don't. When you're 4 up and the guy who takes the penalty has 3 goals, I'm not saying I agree with this. I can see why Madueke and Nico would think that they deserve a penalty.
Yeah.
And especially if Madueke thinks he earned that penalty. And especially if Nico's like, well, I'm the main striker on the squad and I'm hungry for goals, and Palmer has the goals. I'm not, it's a very immature view that they have. But Poch has created the environment for those types of thoughts to come into their brains. Like, and in some way, I blame Poch way more than I blame the players.
Yeah.
So I just don't think the penalty is that big of a deal, or this isn't that big of a deal, because afterward, what happened? Yeah. But Poch is an asshole for this having to work out this way in the first place.
Yeah. This happened because of what Poch had done throughout the season and said, there's no designated penalty taker on this team. And you're asking a bunch of 20, 21, 22, 23-year-old dudes with testosterone raging through their body, jacked up on adrenaline, to decide who takes a penalty in the heat of the moment. If you ask the fans, Palmer's earned that right. But the players, like you said, understand where they're coming from. We're up 4-0 at this point.
Right.
Why can't I have... somebody said, I don't know what it was, somebody said, they wanted a piece of the pie too. It makes perfect sense. And I would actually sympathize with them a little more, and probably be a little more mad at Palmer in this situation if Palmer was not on 19 goals trying to tie Holland for the Golden Boot.
For sure.
That is... Because this has happened before Drogba, and he was in the Golden Boot race, and I get it. Because I would assume... This is just me thinking, too. I don't know this to be true. I just know it's a very American thing, and I feel like this is probably something that's been done. Palmer probably has some kind of freaking bonus in his contract if he wins Golden Boot. And it probably ain't a little bonus. Like, it's probably millions of dollars extra for him. Like,
who was expecting him to be in the race for Golden Boot when we
exactly.
bought him?
They're like, we'll just throw him an extra $5 million. He'll never win the Golden Boot. And Palmer's like, bet.
Yeah.
So, and that's just like coming from a very American sport. Like, there's always those incentive-based bonuses in American, doesn't matter what sport you're in their contracts. And especially in like the NFL, you'll see at the end of the season, last game of the year, if, like, say a wide receiver needs 5 catches to get $1 million bonus, the quarterback will literally just sit there and throw that one wide receiver until he gets his 5 catches. Like,
right.
So I can see. I'm not saying that that's true in the situation. It might be, might not be, but if Palmer was not in the gold boot race,
right,
I would probably side a little more with Madueke and them. But the dude hasn't missed. If he wants to give you the penalty, he can. It's up to him. Like, if he wants to, that's his decision to make. And fair play to Palmer if he wants to do that.
He's earned the right to make that decision, right. I think.
I agree, 100%. But your point about Poch is the one that's created this environment is what needs to be more, like, discussed. Because, like, after the match, it comes out, like, Poch has talked to them. You know, they've settled all the beef. They're interviewing Palmer on NBC Sports, one of the more unreputable football people in the world today. Yeah. But they did ask Palmer point blank, "Are you the penalty taker, Chelsea?" And his response is, "I am now." And I just sort of felt like it was telling the way he said "now" in that interview that it was something that had literally just been decided, like, before he came out to the interview, like in the locker room post match. Like, Poch finally grew some balls and said, "Okay, Palmer, you're our penalty taker." And all that led up, all that stuff that had been happening was because Poch had created that environment, like you were saying, of just hostility and creating these he wasn't purposely pitting players against players, but he was pitting players against players.
Yeah.
So,
well, and then Poch comes out and says, "We acted like children on the field. We acted like kids. We need to be more mature." And I'm like, dude, like, you could have helped them with that. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't get to put them in a situation like that.
Yeah.
And then also slag them off to the media about how they acted in that situation because of what you created. And it's like for all the goodwill that is, like, pouring into the team right now and is pouring into the players and their performances as of late outside of the Sheffield and the Burnley ties. Yeah. Like all of the waves that we're riding right now from Man U to here, right? Like, like, I think are well earned by the team, but I think they're doing this. And man, I would love to be wrong about this in 4 years when we win the Premier League, and if it just happens to be with Pochettino, and I would love to be wrong about him right now, but he creates these weird situations.
He does,
and says these weird things that I just don't think are necessary. Like, he's still an issue. Like, I think they're doing these things in spite of him.
Yes.
And in spite of the things he's creating, not because of him. And so all I have is the evidence on the field, and all I have is the evidence of the matches. The penalty thing this week is another thing that you can put in the checkbox of, this was the fault of Poch.
Yeah, and this is like 2 sort of weeks in a row now. In his post-match press conference, he's thrown the players under the bus. Like, this is becoming... Like, I think there is a place, but, like, I think you have to be extra careful when it's youngsters. Like, young players that are still developing, like, I don't know. But, like, saying what he said about the whole stuff that happened with the penalty and the way he said it was like, dude, you fostered that environment. Like, you could have put this to rest. And, like, that's the thing. This isn't the first time. This is the 4th time this has happened this year, Jason. So he had 4 different chances to put a stop to this at some point in time during the season, and he didn't do it.
Yeah.
He refused. He could have done it at the beginning of the season, designate somebody to take penalties. He could have done it after the first Sterling incident, the second Sterling incident, and the first Madueke incident. And he's had any other time during the season to do it on top of that. But he's had multiple chances to, like, for this incident, should not have happened today if our manager just had some balls to put his foot down and say, you are the penalty taker. If you were on the pitch, you were taking it. I don't know.
Yeah. That's all he had to do.
Yeah, it's not that difficult. And I mean, like, especially if you have a player that hasn't missed the damn penalty in 7 tries this season, is it really that hard to just point to Cole Palmer and be like, that dude on the pitch, he's taking penalties, guys.
Well, and it's not out of the ordinary to have a regular penalty taker.
It's the most regular, normal thing in football, I feel like.
Yeah, it's more out of the ordinary to not.
Right, to just let the players fight about it on the pitch.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, so...
It seems like it's all good now, though. So
it does. And this was one thing I guess we can say about guys as opposed to women. We tend to get over, like, sorry, women. Just saying. We tend to fight. We legit fight, and we're best friends the next day. Women, on the other hand, harbor grudges. Years and years. No, I'm just kidding. No. But the point is, guys, we can fight and be best friends the next day. Like, I've seen people get in fights at school. You've seen it. We went to high school together. Like, they can fight one day at school, and like, after they get back from suspension, like, best friends.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It is. It's one of those things. But, whatever. I digress for the 1,500th time in this episode.
Men are better than women. I get it, Daniel.
Exactly, Jason. Thank you. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about the match today? I think that pretty much covers it.
No, man. I'm pumped. I think that it's a well-earned win. Like we talk about deserving a lot. I think that I think we took advantage of Everton being shit today, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate that we took advantage of our chances.
Yes.
And I think because of that, we absolutely deserve to win, and Everton absolutely deserve to lose. And I don't think that there's not this we drew and we deserve, like we actually deserved it today.
We actually deserved to win today.
And I think overall, penalty aside, I think if that penalty thing had never happened, like I could confidently come out here and say this team just matured before our eyes. And and
then the penalty thing happened.
Yeah. And I would hope that they take the penalty thing, because everybody's going to analyze this thing to death. And I just hope that they take it and go forward with it and learn from it and not sit on it and not listen to the garbage that's going to come out about it, and like the whole week-long cycle that is going to be about the damn penalty. Like, I just hope. Like, and I think the fans need to shut up about it, but that's just me.
Well, I mean, some fans literally said, I'm explaining what we're talking about it more, but literally said we should sell Nico and Madueke.
Yeah, that's just so stupid and obnoxious.
Overreactionary, man.
Yeah, they're kids who want goals. Like, I would want a player that you could like say, hey guys, like, no, we're going to institute some boundaries around this now. Yeah. Like, we've all pushed them far enough. And then they still want to go out and get goals. Like, I don't think this is going to be a discouraging thing. I would hope that it's not. I think you're a mature squad is a squad that can be competitive within itself and come out better on the other side. So, yeah, I think other than that, I do really think this team is kind of coming into their own in ways that I haven't seen this season. And I was happy to like keep up with them today. I didn't get to watch the game. I was able to listen to like Chelsea's audio commentary that they have. But like I was happy to like hear what was going on.
It was nice to watch.
Yeah. And we just haven't been able to say that hardly at all this season. And so I hope that it's a sign to come. Like, I still have no expectations for the rest of the season. And I think we shouldn't. And like, we have chances. Like, what I really like right now is that we have a chance. What I'm scared of is we blow it, like we typically do with this iteration of Chelsea. We've done that multiple
times this season.
Yeah, and so I have no expectations going forward. I'm taking it game by game. If we get into Europa, like, and I'm still Poch out. Like, I think the penalty thing for me still signals Poch out at this moment. Yeah. Like, that's the thing I take away from the penalty is, wow, Poch really isn't as good as man management as we were advertised.
Yeah.
that he was, and he's not as good with young players as was advertised. And that was his big selling point. So anyway, that's my takeaway from the game. Like, that's my ultimate takeaway from the game is, wow, we just won 6-0 at the Bridge. We have one of the best players in the league. We have a Golden Boot contender. We have 2 players, like, for the first time in a while, on double-digit goals. Like, we're about to play at Wembley in the FA Cup. Like, we could be in contention for Europa, and I'm still Poch out.
Yep.
So
that's
the negativity. Like, I think Poch deserves the negativity. I don't.
100%.
I don't think he's earning anything right now.
He's earned his negativity. He earns the criticism.
Except for that. Yeah.
He earns his fatness because he stuffs cookies down his face every day. So fat Poch out. Yeah, but anyway, Jason, tell these lovely people where they can find us at these days.
Yo, we're at Red White Blues FC on X and Substack. And if you're not watching us, we're on YouTube. So down here at the bottom, check us out. We still got the previous X logo. Tweet.
Which it will stay because the bird is so much better than a damn X.
The bird is superior. But yeah, Daniel does amazing things at both. You can catch our when we're both able to watch the game. I don't know. You might put out the text message conversation, but you can check out our live messages afterward on Substack. You can catch Daniel's thoughts during the game. I advocate for every one of Daniel's thoughts. I just am not a social media guy, so I don't help out much. But yeah,
we're also on Instagram, Jason.
Add
the Instagram logo down there. I've been posting on Insta.
Are on Insta, so
gotta add that one.
Insta, Twitter, YouTube, Substack. Like, check us out. We're doing things.
We are.
Like, Daniel keeps us going around here, so support him, and by proxy, support me, and by proxy,
just support the podcast.
Support this channel.
Yeah, support us.
Love you.
But we're also on the Spotify and the iTunes, wherever you find your podcast at. I had to bite my tongue, so I almost said it.
I was waiting.
I did not say it. But we are there, or wherever else you find your podcast at, except for Amazon. We are not there. So listen to us, like, subscribe, give us some feedback, 5-star ratings only. That's it. Nothing else is acceptable. So yeah, comment, do whatever you're supposed to do on these damn YouTube videos. I don't know. But yeah, until next time, guys, gals, we'll catch you on the flip side.
Oh man, we got that clean sheet, flippity floppity.